Hi guys, Annie, Luca, and I are here, and we're going to answer some of the questions that you wrote in about Australian Shepherds, because I get a lot of questions about these two. On to the questions about my specific dogs, and hopefully I can finish it before it rains. Are people afraid of them because of their eyes? No one's ever really been afraid of them. I mean, they seem really friendly, I guess. Annie, can you not cover all my stuff with dirt, please? Mostly people are just more interested in them because of their eyes, and they kind of like attach to them because they think their eyes are interesting. Are their tails naturally bobbed? No, unfortunately, this is something that's done. It's a part of the breed standard, which they say came from them being working dogs, and they said that it was safer for them because they won't get their tail stepped on by a cow or closed in a gate or get infected or something like that. So it's now become part of the breed standard. I kind of don't believe that because there are other working dogs that do have tails that are herding dogs as well. But I haven't been able to find out any more of an answer that makes sense. And come on back, girl. Come on. Luca. I wouldn't have bobbed their tails if it were up to me because I just don't find it necessary to remove something that's just naturally there. It's just their tail. But they do it so early when they're 3 weeks old or 4 weeks old, and we didn't know that they were going to be our dogs yet, so it was already done. Annie, you're covering your sissy in dirt. Luca, come here, show. Oh. Stop, you ladies. See, they love being around me, but they are constantly busy. Yeah. Some Aussies actually, they don't really have much of a tail anyway, so there's some Aussies that might have like a shorter tail or even a bobtail, but yeah, unfortunately their tails were surgically bobbed. How old are they? Luca turned 1 on March 20th, which oddly enough was also the day a few years ago, the day that my first Aussie, whose name was Blue, passed away. And I didn't even remember. I knew that the 20th was the day that Blue died, and I knew that the 20th was her birthday. And then like last month or something, or a couple months ago, I was dozing off, and it came to me that it was the same day, and I was just like, oh my god, that's incredible. I gotta hurry, it's gonna rain. What's the worst thing they've ever done? It's kind of a funny question. Luca, the other day I was just sitting out here just like this, and I saw her carrying something around in her mouth, running, really, really happy look on her face, and I thought it was an orange, and so I just sat here and played with them. It turned out it was a baby gopher tortoise, and that just made me feel so guilty once I realized what it was, because she had been crushing it. It wasn't dead, but it was petrified, and I don't know if it ended up surviving. I just felt awful because I just let her carry it around for a super long time, and I wasn't used to having a dog that would hurt anything else because my dog Blue, she would never hurt anything except for a bug, a moth. But she, like, once she found a baby bird that had fallen out of the nest, this is how cool Aussies are. She found a baby bird, and she came to the back door just like Lassie and was barking her head off, and Aussies don't really bark. She was barking her head off, and I was little, and my mom kept asking her, why are you barking? You're going crazy. And she was showing my mom where the baby bird was so that she could save it, and I think she did something like that twice. So I had no expectation that Luca would pick up this gopher tortoise in her mouth. It's actually raining. Somebody said, how are they trained? And I don't have any specific training technique or anything. I think clicker training is great, and I've tried it before with my other dogs, but I haven't with these dogs. I just haven't taken the time to do it. But if you're interested in a really great method and you have time to look it up, look up clicker training. I highly recommend it. And I have a friend who is an incredible animal trainer who does that with her dogs, her horses, and she can get them to do all kinds of wonderful things, and it's a really gentle way to train them. Mostly with them, we've had them with us since they were 8 weeks old, and so we just sort of train them. So we just sort of train them as we go along, you know, because they're with us so much, and we used to take them, actually we would take them to school, and they would help out so much with the kids. Like we had several little kids who would come into the office because they knew that they were going to have a problem in class behaviorally, and they would come in and ask to snuggle the puppies, and they would do that for a little while, and then they would know when they would go back, and they would just go back to class. So they've been with us for a long time, you know, almost all day, every day. So it is raining, but I'm almost done, and I really want to finish. So I just train them as I go. You know, I see them do something wrong, and I tell them not to, or whatever. I try to use positive reinforcement with them. Somebody asked about the process of getting them. So my first Aussie Blue passed away, I think it's 4 years ago now, and she was my best friend since I was 5, and we would go out into the yard, and I would pretend I was Princess Leia, and I would feed her beef jerky like Princess Leia fed the Ewoks. We just did everything together, so I was really, really lonely without her. I really missed her. And so finally, when I graduated from college, we decided that it was time to get a puppy, which was so exciting. So exciting, right, Luca? I was just ecstatic, and I was telling everyone. And so we started looking around, and we have a breeder who has been my mom's friend and like high school acquaintance since she was in high school, and she's one of the best breeders around. She called me because a friend of hers had a litter, and there was one little girl puppy that they thought would be perfect for me, and it was actually the niece of one of her real big dogs. And so we decided that I would get her, and I was so excited. I was so nervous. Oh my god. Like, I don't even know how nervous I'm going to be for when my child is born, because I was so nervous driving there. I was driving, and my mom was with me, and she made me stop driving because I was messing up everything because I was so nervous. Like, what if she doesn't like me? What if she's not the right one? And I was so upset. And so we went there, and she has a house where it's raised, so there's like a concrete porch underneath of it, and all the puppies, there was like 6 of them, were sitting in front of a fan because it was so hot, this big old fan, and their fur was blowing, and they looked so happy, except for Luca, who was climbing up the stairs, and she had this fat butt, and she was looking behind her like, oh, I have to get out of this heat. And she was running up the stairs, and she had no interest in me. And so we picked her up, and I was so nervous. I think I probably actually started crying, because we took her to, there's a park on the Swanee River, and we took her there to let her go to the bathroom and for us to have dinner. And immediately as I put her down, an ant bit her paw, and she yelped. I love that little puppy, she was so cute. And so I started crying because I was like, I'm a bad mother! And she heard me. So I was just so happy to have her. Definitely, if you're looking to get a dog, any kind of dog, you know, take your time and don't rush and get the wrong one, or get one from parents that you don't like or you don't know. Take your time. It just happened perfectly that she came along for me, but I had been waiting probably 3 months since we decided that we were going to get a puppy. Annie, for Fanny! And Annie just sort of came into our life. There was this awesome mom at our school who had, her daughter breeds minis and regular Aussies too, and they had a litter, and Annie was spoken for, and we had just gotten Luca and we were opening a school, so we didn't think about doing that. But then the breeder, she has a 1-year-old, I think, and she was about to have another baby, and she was just too overwhelmed to be able to keep the puppy. And my mom had already fallen in love with Annie, but she didn't think she could have her. And so when it turned out that she was available, my mom decided to get her. And I didn't really want to, because I thought, what are we going to do with 2 puppies? This is crazy. But they have actually taken a lot of the strain off of us. Like, whenever I've heard people say, oh, I want to get a dog for my dog, I think, yeah, that's not going to work. You're just going to have 2 dogs, and they're not going to entertain each other, but they really do. They love each other, they wrestle all the time, they wear each other out, they run with each other, they miss each other really desperately when they're apart. And that hasn't really been my experience, so I wouldn't say like if you don't have time for your dog, don't get another dog, but they have had a really good relationship and I was really lucky to get the both of them. Okay, I'm gonna go inside because it's raining. Thank you so much for your interest in my dogs and for always saying how wonderful they are. I love them. If you have any other questions that I didn't answer, please write it in the comment box or tell me if this was helpful to you, if you liked it. Come here, Luca. Come on. Luca, come on. Come here. Luca, come here. Say bye. Say bye, Annie. Come here. Yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any more questions, please write them and I'll try to get to it. Thank you!